Jack Rolls is hoping to gain first team experience from going on loan. But you were, Jack. You were. Hello and welcome back to more Careering Onwards with me, Mr. Grand 2. And yes, unsurprisingly, Jack Rolls has not returned to us. He has gone back to Tottenham. He wants to come back. He's very happy to join us on loan. Unfortunately, Spurs think we're rubbish. They don't want him to be anywhere near us, which frankly is a bit harsh. I mean, we're having a great season. Which is having a bit of a blip, as we'll look at in a minute. Elliot Ward has also gone as well on a free transfer. He was never going to play really, and he was on quite a lot of money, and we have reinvested that. So with the departures in mind, we have signed 2 new players, potentially another one on the way. The issue to Greg Taylor, of course, is something to bear in mind. So we brought in a new centre-back, Timmy Odusina, on loan from Norwich City. I just think he's decent, good heading, good marking, tackling, and passing for this level. Decent concentration and physicals as well. He'll do well, I think. He's wanted by Shrewsbury for a permanent transfer, which, good luck. That's not going to happen. We've got until the end of the year. I think he's going to come in alongside Harry Darling and just be sort of decent until Greg Taylor comes back. And with the departure of Jack Rolls, we did need to get a new midfielder in, and I think in Tom Adeyemi we have got somebody who is a pretty solid replacement for this kind of level. He's a natural in the box-to-box role. I think just quite well-rounded. Good dribbling, marking, passing, tackling. He's got that. He's got positioning. He's got decent work rate, decent physicals. He's not outstanding at anything, but relatively solid at everything that is important. And I think that could do quite well. He's had a relatively mixed start to life. He's either brilliant or he's awful, which is he's not very consistent. And that's a bit concerning. There is another transfer potentially in the offing, which I will explain in a minute, and you'll see why when we go through the results. But we ended off last time with 2 defeats. Things did pick up, and then they didn't anymore. It was a 2-0 win against Leyton Orient, first of all. Will Ferry bagged himself a brace in that one. Very good performance. And then a 1-0 win against Swindon. This was an excellent result. George Maris getting the goal. Swindon were kind of chasing the 3 C's at the top of the table, as we are called. But we saw them off. It was a very good controlled performance. Then, a disappointing 1-1 draw with Morecambe. Disappointing because we completely dominated the game. We had so many chances. I'm not sure it's going to say 3 clear-cut chances at least. 5 shots on target. So many opportunities, most of which were Adam Ida running through and deciding to just shoot directly at the goalkeeper. One-on-ones still an issue. A 3-1 win against Mansfield then followed. It was a bit jittery, but we managed to see it through. Maris, Lamb and Carruthers with the goal. Unfortunately, that's the last time we've won a game. We are on a 5-game stretch without a win. 2 draws in there and 3 defeats, albeit one of them was in the Cup against Liverpool. I think this was a really good performance, actually. 2 goals against arguably the best team in the game. They're not having a great time this season, Liverpool. Actually only 5th in the Premier League. But obviously they were too good for us. I was hoping they'd rest some players. He did rest Alisson, and he did rest Bobby Firmino, did Jurgen Klopp, but he didn't rest Mo Salah, he didn't rest Sadio Mane, he didn't rest Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they were just too good. A hat-trick for Arkadiusz Milik as well. It was a blisteringly good performance. But 2 goals. Tom Adeyemi scored in his debut. It was a cracker, as did Harrison Dunk. I think that's good. 5-2 defeat to Liverpool is not bad. Got some money for it as well. But then things did get bad. We lost 2-1 at bottom of the league Macclesfield, the only team in the division who were actually worse than us in real life last season. It was just awful. It was a dreadful performance. This one was not anything to do with bad luck. We were just rubbish. We did have 2 clear-cut chances, but then so did they. They scored both of theirs. They had more shots on target than us as well. Just really sloppy, some dreadful defending, a pretty poor goalkeeping performance, and once again, on a 6.2, Adam Ida, he's the issue. He's not scored. He's not scored for a very long time. In fact, he's not scored since we played Chesterfield in the FA Cup, which was, a couple of months ago at this point. He is on a very, very, very long spell without scoring, and he's playing really, really badly. When you look at his attributes, and we brought him in, he should be amazing in this level. He really should. As I say, he's done amazingly for me in the Premier League, and it worked for a while, but it seems to have tailed off. He's just missing such easy chances. I know one-on-ones are an issue, but you can still usually find a way. He has 5 or 6 one-on-ones a game, it feels like, and every single one of them he just shoots straight at the goalkeeper or he shoots wide. And it's been reflected in the subsequent results. A 1-1 draw against Exeter, which was, unfortunate. They did equalise relatively late on through Tom Parks, but I think actually probably a fair reflection of the game. In fact, we were quite lucky to get a point. A 1-1 with Stevenage. Stevenage are the team who are sponsored by Burger King, which is interesting football sponsor. This one was very, very unfortunate. We did completely dominate the game. So many chances. This is one of the games where Adam Ida had so many one-on-ones which he just completely missed. 10 shots on target, 3 clear-cut chances, and we only ended up rescuing a point late on in injury time through Harrison Dunk. And then a pretty much identical situation against Morecambe as well, except this one was a 1-0 defeat. They had a massively fluky goal. We had, again, 3 clear-cut chances, 8 shots on target, total domination in terms of everything else, and yet they're the ones with the 3 points. So a disappointing run, and it means we are now second in the table, level on points with Cheltenham, just 6 clear of Swindon. We saw them off, but they've clawed their way back. We're now 6 points behind Colchester as well, and we are going to play them in the second game today, which is not going to go well. So we need to get back to winning ways, and we've got a chance to do that first of all. A home game against Salford City. They're not having the best time of it, down in 20th place in fact. In this poor run of form, most of the games were away from home. The only game at home was the Stevenage game, which we were extremely unlucky to not win, and indeed only rescue a point in. The rest of them were away from home, except of course the Liverpool game, which we were never going to win. So I'm relatively optimistic. I'm not optimistic. Woeful form. That's not happened at any point in the save so far. So with Adam Ida's dreadful form in mind, I think our striking options are a bit of an issue. Sam Smith has played occasionally and not done very well. Neither has Harvey Nibbs. Neither of them scored a single goal this season. I'm going to play Sam Smith from the start today because Ida's just been so completely useless. We have, with that in mind, put a bid in for a new striker. Jake Scrimshaw on loan from Bournemouth. It's not gone through yet. Hopefully it does. He's not anything amazing, but 14 finishing and composure. It's higher composure than Adam Ida. He's not as good a player from a well-rounded perspective, but potentially could do a job. He can't do much worse than Ida's been doing recently. So Smith's going to lead the line for this one and hopefully do something. The rest of the team isn't playing especially well. I'm going to bring Will Ferry back in on the left with Reggie Lamb on the right. Maris, Adeyemi and O'Neill not as fluid without Jack Rolls, it's fair to say. Norville Williams is going to be at left back. Darling and Odesina are going to be at centre back with Davis at right back and Callum Burton in goal. He's made a few mistakes, but he makes more saves than mistakes, so he's going to stay there for now. So Salford not doing as well as you would expect, but they're a fantastic team. They've got Adam Rooney, who he's slowed down a bit, but he's a ridiculously good striker for this level as well. Plenty of decent players throughout the rest of their team. It's not going to be easy. I don't know why they're doing so poorly, but I expect a win to cut out this recent run of bad results. I say I expect it. I don't. I'm expecting a draw at best, but we'll give it a go. Well, Salford coming forwards from kickoff. This would be a brilliant start, wouldn't it? Smallburn puts it across. We managed to get it away. Adeyemi, formerly of Norwich and Ipswich, of course, just pumps it away. And it's come back to Salford. Jervis with a shot, which luckily goes wide. That would have been a disastrous start. We could change the system. We could change to the 4-4-2 that we've been training as well, but I don't want to. I think we're playing, for the most part, we're playing well. We're just not getting anything out of it until now. Norville Williams, he's been out of the team recently. Maybe he was the missing link. We'll put him back in, and well, he's got an assist for himself across to Reggie Lamb, who has also been pretty poor recently. Maybe he was just lacking some quality balls in the box from young Norville Williams. It's the breakthrough. We've got the lead. It's the first time we've been in the lead in a game for a little while. All the points we've had on the recent run have come from losing positions. So hopefully we can actually keep this up. And at half-time, nothing else has happened. We actually are in the lead. Please keep doing this. I really appreciate it. I'd appreciate it if you could actually win the game. Colchester losing 2-1 to Swindon. That is well, relatively good news as long as we keep winning, because otherwise we'll be in danger of Swindon overtaking us. Oh, 70 minutes gone. The second half is rapidly disappearing. Will Ferry has done little to nothing in this one, and the same can be said of Sam Smith. Do we give Ida? We're gonna have to give Ida a chance. I mean, 6.4. We can't condone that. As soon as I put Adam Ida on the pitch, and it's Salford coming forwards. Davis though puts it down, and it's gone straight back to Salford. They're coming forwards again. Jervis gives it away. Darling looking to break dunk. Well, I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure what that was. It doesn't really count as control, but he's got it back. He's redeemed himself. Can he find a ball across to Adam Ida? I really wish he hadn't. How has he missed that? I mean, he did miss an amazing chance against Morecambe. It was glorious in terms of control. The ball from midfield was incredible. His touch, his take was fantastic. He rounded the defender, and somehow he didn't even get it anywhere near the goal. It was quite absurd. Odesina plays it across all the way to Harrison Dunk, puts it back, cleared by the Salford defence, but we got it back through O'Neill and Maris. Adeyemi plays it onto Reggie Lamb, who's lost out, and Salford are coming forwards. We really could have gone with a second goal here, get away with it for now. Time is ticking away, and hopefully time has ticked away enough. Indeed it has. We've got a win, a much needed win. Pretty uneventful game overall, but we've won. It was a good win. Not seen anything from Salford there at all to worry us. It would have been pretty bad if we hadn't won that one, wouldn't it? But we won it. 3 more points on the board. The poor run of form, the woeful run of form, thankfully comes to an end. We bookend the month with another win. Definitely welcome. The players can have an actual rest from that. I've been making them come into training, been shouting at them, been being mean. I know we are massively overperforming, but we're on for a good thing here. We're on for a good thing. We've got to try and keep it up. We are now 2 points clear of Cheltenham after that one, in second place, and 6 points clear of Swindon, which is good. We are now playing Colchester next though, which could be really good, but it could also be really quite bad. Leon Davis's agent wants to discuss a new contract. I mean, he is playing well. He's been one of the sort of stars of the season, but I can't really afford it. If we're going to get Jake Scrimshaw in, we're going to have £100 a week left, so it's not really the money in the budget for a new contract for you. He's on £500. I mean, we can literally go to £600. That's all we can go to. He wants £875. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm going to cap it at 550 because that's literally all we can do. And they don't like that. Okay, well, sack your agent, mate. Okay, he's not going to sack his agent. That's not worked. Should probably mention as well, because we talked about it at the end of the last episode, we did actually agree a deal to sign Effie Ambrose, but he didn't get a work permit. And it's probably for the best, because while he's really good at pretty much everything you want from a defender, he's got a concentration of 4, which is not at all good. Right, Jake Scrimshaw is in. Hopefully he can pick up where Adam Ida just completely stopped a few months ago. Right now, George Taft wants to discuss a new contract because of his, quote, good form. I mean, maybe for the opposition, George, you've been absolute rubbish whenever you've played. I mean, no, you're not getting a new contract. Absolutely not. He's not happy. He's gonna go to his teammates in the media. Well, I mean, you can go on the transfer list then. No one's going to buy you anyway because the window's just closed. You've picked a really bad time for this, George. And yeah, just enjoy that. Anyway, hopefully he doesn't find any of his teammates before this game happens. I think we're going to start Scrimshaw. I mean, why not? He can't do any worse than any of the other strikers we've got. Otherwise, I'm not going to make any changes, or am I? I think Dunk is sort of quite good from the bench. He is relatively kind of a liability if we just sort of shove him in there. George, you better not be on the bench if you're going to have that kind of level of mutiny about you. Otherwise, the team is unchanged. Classic 4-4-2 from Colchester. They got Callum Harriott on the left-hand side, who is pretty good for this kind of level. Luke Norris as well up front has scored 12 goals this season, which is not too bad at all. He could be quite deadly against our relatively questionable defence. This is going to be quite difficult. I'm not expecting to win this game. Do I tell them I am? No, I'm not. We're going to go for some revenge because Colchester, they did beat us in the league last time out. It was a pretty tight game. We were quite unlucky. We lost quite late on. Maybe today will be a change of fortune. I mean, we've ended our bad run of form with that win against Salford. Colchester, though, will be a completely different kettle of fish. They are a much better side than Salford. Cheltenham take the lead in their game against Morecambe. I mean, they can take the lead against Morecambe, just not us. George Maris with a free kick early on hits the crossbar, and we're still not. The chance isn't quite over. It is now. Well, it's half time. That was the only highlight of what I assume was a pulsating first half for the faithful at the Abbey Stadium. I mean, this is a big game. You'd expect this would be, one of the top games. It's top first versus second, When you would expect us that we'd have quite sort of middle billing on EFL highlights on Quest or whatever it is. But at this rate, we're going to be last. No one wants to be last on the EFL highlights on Quest, do they? Adeyemi coming forwards, good opportunity for him. Great shot saved by Dean Gherkin in the Colchester goal. I mean, it's been all us so far in the two highlights we've seen. So admittedly not a big sample size. O'Neill puts it across. Jackson nearly runs it across his own goal line. 61 minutes gone. Burton's found Jake Scrimshaw. Lovely ball from him to Reggie Lamb, mainly because he didn't give it away. Lamb plays it down to Ferry. Scrimshaw doesn't quite get on it. Was a chance there for him. We've still got it though. Maris to Darling. Maris gets it back, finds Adeyemi, who runs on a bit, finds Norville Williams. Can he find a ball across? He can to Reggie Lamb, and it's very close. All right, everyone's nervous. Why are you nervous? I mean, we're holding on against the team above us in the league. Why would you possibly be nervous? We'll bring on Dunk. We'll bring on Carruthers as well. Can they give us a bit more attacking impetus? We've got 4 shots on target. It doesn't feel quite as awful though, because we've not seen Adam Ida go through 15 times and miss every single one. Dunk with the corner in, and Carruthers heads it in. And am I a managerial genius, or am I a managerial genius? Bring on 2 players and they combine to give you the lead. Brilliant header from Carruthers, actually. Really good. Got some real power on that one. Straight from Dunk's corner. They do well off the bench. And time is ticking away here. And even a draw in this one isn't the end of the world. I was expecting to lose. So if they do equalise, it's not the end of the world. But I mean, we're holding on. Dunk doesn't quite get there. And now, looking for Callum Harrier. Adeyemi with a pretty poor pass, but Davis clears up. I would give him a new contract, but we just can't really afford to. And that's not gone well, but not a great effort from Comley in the end. In fact, he was offside, but Burton made the save anyway. Dunk flicks it up for Odesina, who he's offside as well. 2 pretty baffling highlights to end the game, but it does indeed end the game with a win, a 1-0 win against Colchester United, top of the table. That is huge. I've not really realised just how significant a result and how good a result that actually is, given our recent poor form. I was really expecting to lose quite heavily, but we don't. It's another 1-0 win. We found a way. That's 6 points from 6 in the 2 games in this episode. The first episode of the save so far, but we've actually won both games in it. That is completely unexpected given our appalling form leading up to it, but that is a huge result. We are now just 1 point behind Colchester at the top of the league. 5 points clear of Cheltenham as well, and most importantly 6 points clear of Swindon back in that playoff place. I mean, we should be getting in the playoffs, I think. Well clear of Crewe. We're pretty much, I don't want to say guaranteed, but we're pretty much in the box seat for getting the playoffs. But we don't have eyes on that. We've got eyes on getting automatic promotion and maybe even getting the title. It was looking like Colchester were running away with it, but we've beaten them today, and now the gap is closed. Well, there we are then. That was a very unexpectedly successful episode. I really wasn't thinking we were going to do all that much in it. There were tight wins, but they were actually quite controlled performances. I'm not sure. Salford didn't have a single shot on target, and I don't think Colchester did either. Indeed, they did not. Well, okay, that is interesting. That's very interesting. But that is going to be it for today. 2 fantastic results. And we're coming towards the business end of the season. The League 2 season, of course, ends in April, obviously in time for the playoffs. We're hoping we're not going to be in those playoffs if they can be avoided. But next time we will be back, and we will be back. Well, we could just go straight to the end of the season, but I think we're going to come back in March, because I think things could be quite tight indeed. Cheltenham Town look like a decent place to come back, as they are in third. Potentially we need to get revenge against them, so potentially Cheltenham and Grimsby will have to wait and see. I mean, we've got Crawley Town, we want to get some revenge against them as well. So at some point in March we'll have to see how the league is shaping up in the games in between. But thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this much improved performance. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the run in towards the end of the season. Can we get promoted to Sky Bet League One in our first season in charge? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, and I will see you next time.